What's going on, everybody? This is your boy XQ420. I want to welcome everybody back to another episode of Showtime with the Cube with my co-host, Corey Hughes. How you doing today, Corey?
I'm good, man. I got to tell you, I had this horrible nightmare last night. Man, it was awful. I dreamt that you and I started a new show that we talk about movies and TV, and then you made me watch She-Hulk. God damn, I'm glad it was just a dream.
Right, except we've already did 3 episodes. Listen, look up there. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. And this is going to be the review of episode number 4. Now, if it's your first time to this channel, don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button. If you're listening to us on all the podcast platforms, subscribe, like, well, you know what, leave a comment, do all that good stuff. We're everywhere, right, Corey? All over the place.
We're all over the place.
Okay, all right, yeah. So
you can't not enjoy this show somewhere.
Yeah, there you go. There's somewhere you can enjoy this show at. If you've got a long ride, put it on. Just let it run in the background. We appreciate everybody for listening. So we're going to talk about She-Hulk episode 4. Okay, right out the gate. It seems to be going nowhere. All right, I think I know the direction it wants to take us. But then it seems to just go nowhere at the same time. What do you think, Corey? What's your initial thoughts?
So, the one thing that we didn't get that we should have gotten by now is the development of a main theme or plot that will stretch throughout the entire first season. Mm-hmm. And so if you go back and you watch the classics, I'll always refer to Star Trek, because Star Trek was fantastic in as far as there was an overarching mission, right? There was a theme throughout the whole show, and then you'd have these episodes that would take you on a tangent, you know, because they had to kill space, right? They had 20-something episodes a season back then. They needed to have little storylines that they could wrap up in one episode before moving on to the next, to continue the overarching storyline of the show, right? The underlying premise. We don't have that here yet, okay? So we have this lawyer who seems like she's not really that great of a lawyer in the first place, becomes the She-Hulk, and she starts showing up in court as the She-Hulk, which to me is kind of ridiculous. The fact she walks around as that thing is ridiculous. But this episode didn't do anything to develop any long-term plots. It basically was a side story already that we didn't have to have quite yet. I want to know what's up with the guys who hired the Asgardian plumbers. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I was like. Okay, they gave us something to go off of. We're like, okay, maybe we're gonna get some more glimpses of that. Now, there may be a point in here where that may have happened, and we'll talk about that. But we're gonna start off with the first thing. It starts off at a magic show. Okay, at a magic show, and I'm just like, okay, what's going on here? The guy's name is Donnie Blaze. If y'all don't know, that is a play on words of Johnny Blaze, who was Ghost Rider. So they did that play on words right there. But obviously, he's a magician. Okay, now he's not very good at it. All right, his tricks are pretty bad, but he does have I can't even remember the name of the thing they put on their fingers. But he does have the sorcerer's.
I just call it that thing they put on their fingers.
Yeah, yeah. They do the swirl and they're able to open a portal. That's pretty much it. So he does have one of those, and when push comes to shove, that's what he pulls out as his as his final act. Now he's got a black sidekick in the background, which I guess is just like his comedic relief. But he's like, Donnie, do the thing. He's like, man, I don't want to do the thing. All right. So so this goes right into them getting a thought up there on stage. Now she is a legit thought. Okay, she's a straight up, drunk tramp. That's pretty much what she portrayed. All right.
I find your terminology to be offensive.
Yeah, and it is. Okay, somebody should be offensive. Her name was Madison. It was misspelled. Okay, which is, I mean, Madisyn. I'm not sure who's ever spelled Madison like that. Is
somebody who was drunk.
Okay, there we go. and so she was drunk. Okay, she was drunk. Now, Corey, was any of this interesting to you? These first 5 to 10 minutes.
I don't know if interesting is the right word. Whatever the word is for waiting for something to happen, That word is what I would use there. So they present the conflict in the story, or with a potential conflict in the story early on. They show that he's a dipshit magician, but he happens to have some sorcerer of the nether realm, or whatever the fuck they call it, device to open the portal. So you're like, this isn't going to work out too well. And then, so he opens up this portal, right? And you can see in the background, there's like all kinds of hellfire going on and stuff. And then next thing you know, this chick falls through the portal and ends up at Wong's house.
Now, when she's at Wong's, he just kind of brushed this over. But when she came out on his side, she had a heart in her hand. She like legit had a heart in her hand when she came out of Wong's portal on his side. I was
You mean like a heart, like you ripped out of somebody's chest heart?
Yeah, just like.
I didn't. I wasn't paying that close of attention. I guess I did not notice that.
Yeah, now she was still drunk. Okay, she was still drunk. All right, but she comes out the other side and she's got the heart in her hand, and we'll speak about what she said a little bit later on. But she ends up at Wong, and I thought that Wong was going to be a one-off. You know what I'm saying? I didn't. How big is this budget? This budget's got to be huge.
Well, he's a low budget. In the rankings of superheroes, he's probably way towards the bottom as far as payroll goes, and he probably needs a job, right? Yeah. So it's like peanut butter and jelly. It's a match made in heaven, right? They need each other. So, but yeah, in reference to what's her name again?
Madison.
That's spelled all jacked up. I thought she did a fantastic job of portraying the strong, independent woman character type. What did you think?
Drunk as shit, tits out. Yeah, I mean, she did.
Yeah, she wasn't completely in contradiction with what the show is supposed to be presenting, right?
Yeah. Oh, but once we start going on throughout the show, you'd be like, hold on a second. This is like taking a complete turn from what it started off earlier. Like, oh, men are equal, and it still has some of that tone in it about men ain't shit. But it takes a complete turn. So Madison's right there. She's with Wong. All right. She spoils Wong's Sopranos episode, which you're like, okay, Wong's sitting around watching the Sopranos. You're like, I mean, really? You know what I'm saying? I mean, who's still sitting around watching the Sopranos? How old is that show?
Well, it's ancient, early 2000s. They obviously had some sort of licensing arrangement with somebody. Somebody knew somebody in the back office, and that's how that happened. That's always how that happens, right?
Okay. Yeah, exactly. So she spoils the episode for Wong, lets him know that somebody's going to die, and he feels all bad. And, of course, he goes immediately to She-Hulk, okay? Because all of a sudden Wong needs a lawyer.
Yeah, because when somebody messes with the mystic arts, the first thing you need to do is get a lawyer, right? You don't want to, track him down and steal it back, or go get Doctor Strange and do some of that mirror universe stuff in order to fight the evil amateur magician. He went to get a lawyer. Yeah, makes perfect sense.
When that I was like, hold on a second. So you mean to tell me the Sorcerer Supreme is gonna go get a lawyer? He's not just gonna go and just take this particular talisman back? He's just not going to take it back. He's going to go get a lawyer. I'm like, this totally contradicts what superheroes would usually do. Superheroes don't go get lawyers to handle their conflicts.
That is correct.
I was like, okay, so they and I think what you said in a couple episodes ago about them painting themselves into attorney at law, I think they painted themselves in the corner. And so they're just having to maintain that whole thing. Oh, everything's got to go back to the courtroom. And it's just like, I kind of don't want to go back to the courtroom. You know what I'm saying? The courtroom's not interesting to me. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct. And every time they go to that courtroom, it highlights how ridiculous the show is. I'm trying so hard to not be so critical when I watch it. I try to find something some kind of redeeming characteristic. And I'm still waiting, right? I haven't closed the book. I mean, we know it's trash, but there has to be something about this show throughout the course of this season that is worthwhile. That need for it to go somewhere, and I need for it to go somewhere rather quickly. But as far as the courtroom goes, every time they flash back to the courtroom, it just reminds me that they painted themselves into a corner and don't have a choice with it.
Yep, exactly, to a T. And I'm just kind of done with that whole aspect because everything in the show keeps getting tied back to some sort of litigation. Okay, and I'm just like, when can I get to the superhero stuff? That's what I really want to get to. All right, when can I get more towards the superhero stuff and moving the plot along now? All right, past this right here, past Wong asking her to become his lawyer, and he's going to sue this dude. I mean, obviously, I don't even know how it would go through a court of law. They'd be like, how you going to sue somebody for something they're using? And it's theirs. So I'm like, okay, so beyond that. But it goes off into a tangent, all right? And this is a weird turn of events where all of a sudden Jen Walters wants to hook up. Mm-hmm. She creates an online profile with her friend Ginger, and I got a feeling that her friend Ginger, I don't even want to know what her body count probably is. We'll probably say in the high hundreds. Okay, that's all I'm saying. She seems to know all too well about how to set these profiles up and how to attract the other, which she ain't really got to attract guys just come up to you as a woman. But that's neither here nor there. But as far as putting herself out there to let people know, I am available. Okay, so Jen Walters is getting in this particular thing. It's Matcher.com. All right, so Matcher. So obviously that's a fictional place, but Matcher.com. So she's put her original profile up there as Jen Walters, and of course, what does she immediately start doing? Is it swipe left or swipe right? I think swipe left is if you don't like them, right?
I don't know, man. It's been a while.
Swipe left. So, I've never gotten on a date nap.
Every time I've ever been on one, I've been on a ton of dates, and they never got me anywhere. It's never been a good experience for online dating.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So you have done the online dating and have had some dates, but the experience wasn't that great.
Yeah, like nothing special, and some weird experiences with like emails back and forth, for weeks, and then they just disappear, right? So weird stuff. You wanna find a reliable date online? Just go to hooker.com and you are good to go.
pay by the hour or by the minute. Whichever one, you know what I'm saying? However you need to pay by. So she creates her profile. She starts swiping, and she's not getting any matches as Jen Walters, okay? I guess her sexual market value has depleted. Nobody wants an over 30, lawyer that is kind of washed up. So that's what it's pretty much saying. But when she makes her profile as the She-Hulk, okay, when she does that, then the hits start rolling in. I want to know what you think about that. I'm like,
well, I think the weird thing is that they need to explain a little better is the biology of this gamma radiation. Shouldn't her junk be all toxic with gamma radiation? Who wants to stick their junk up in there? That's like, ugh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So this whole the premise of this entire episode, you've got two premises here. Okay, you've got your Donnie Blaze. He's a dumbass. He don't know what he's doing with the mystic arts, and then you've got Jennifer Walters trying to get laid. All right,
right.
So, that's the premise of this episode. That's the two things going on, and you're just like, my God, can I get some semblance of a story besides just everyday nonsense? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We see losers out in public every day. We see folks trying to get laid every day. And so I'm like, I want a superhero show.
Do you think they're trying to do some kind of character development? Do you think they're trying to make people sympathize with her as a human being who now has the burden of being the She-Hulk? Could it be that?
That may be it.
I think that's giving them a lot of credit. I don't think those writers understand the concepts that we just talked about, much less know how to write them out. So it's hard to say, but it wasn't. You got to think. Who is their target market? Are they shooting for like 20-something females? Is that like their
potentially?
Audience?
Well, I don't know. It'd probably be older. It'd probably be above 30.
I think their target market is, what was her name? Melissa with the Y.
Madison. Yeah, Madison.
That's their target market. I mean, seriously.
Drunk hookers.
Yes. Drunk hookers who go to hell and come back with a heart in their hand, and they say, it was okay.
Yeah.
Her reaction, to go back to her for a second, her reaction when she fell through the portal to hell or wherever it was, she handled it quite well for a Valley Girl.
Yeah, I mean, she just like, I guess she had enough drinks in her. It's just, hey, whatever it is, I just go along with the flow.
See, they're attempting too much. They're attempting too much comic relief.
Yes,
and it's not good comedy. Like the people writing the show are not comic writers. They're just not.
No.
I think they on the application to get this job, as long as you apply with the right pronouns, you get hired, and your skills in creating a television show from any angle, including the writing, just aren't. They don't have to be there, and that's what we have. We saw this go on with the comics, right? Weren't there a bunch of comics that came out that were woke as fuck, and they hired some barely 20-somethings to
they're making a gay Captain America. But the real Captain America's in the same universe, and the gay Captain America goes and fights for the homeless and stuff. It's just like, man, what are you writing, man?
You ever hung out with the fucking homeless? They're homeless for a reason. Jesus Christ.
It's just like, for the downtrodden and the homeless, I'm just like, man, y'all don't, just miss me with that, but we're just trying to get an exciting story, okay? That's what we want. We want some entertainment. But they're missing the mark on that. So Jennifer Walters, she creates her profile as the She-Hulk, all right? Her friend Ginger's like, hey, maybe you just need to be the She-Hulk. She's like, no, I could get somebody as Jennifer Walters. So, no, you can't. You ain't been able to get anybody up till now. You know what I'm saying? You're a single, over 30 lawyer. So she creates a profile as the She-Hulk. And that first date she goes on, when she's at, I think they're either at a bar or a bowling alley. It might be, a little bit of a mixture. But she's sitting there talking to this. She's straight up with a loser. Let's just be honest. They're sitting there drinking a couple beers, and the dude starts looking at his phone. His phone rings. He starts talking on it, and then the bill comes. And I just thought this right here was a pretty funny moment where both of them are just looking at the bill like, and my man's like, "You gonna pay, right?" Hey, they are in LA. They are in Los Angeles. So,
you never know.
I've seen 4 drinks on the table, so that's at least about $60-$70. You know
easily.
Yeah, 4 drinks. Shit, about cash you out. You know what I'm saying? But they're both looking at it ominously, and the minute he sees her reaching her wallet, he's like, "Oh, it was nice meeting you, and you have a good night." I was like, "Damn, man, done ghosted her, bud." Like he's got all these options. That's my only problem. This dude just rolled out of here like he's just got all these options, like he's just rolling into pussy. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, I'm rolling it in, man. I don't need this. I got all kind of options. I'm like, come on, man, look at this dude. This dude is obviously a loser. All right, that's just all there is to it. He ain't got no options. Come on, you need to make this more realistic. Now, if you had Suave up there, you know what I'm saying? This dude that looked like he about 6'4" and looked like he's been chiseled out of stone. You know what I'm saying? Got these baby-like features, soft skin. You'd be like, okay, this dude probably got options. Make a lot of money. But you just got some old raggedy dude. He's just like, nah, I'm good. Come on, man. We know that's not how men operate. Let him know something, Corey.
Yeah, so my big question is, when you take a feminist out on a date, are you still supposed to pay? Like, I'm a man. I go on a date.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Pay. I just pay. That's just how it goes. I pay and shut the fuck up already, okay? Get back in the kitchen, all right? I'm paying the fucking bill. So I've never had anyone say, no, don't pay, I'll pay, or hey, I'll split it. Nothing like that ever. Not once in the history of my life, or probably mankind for that matter. So yeah, my big question is, should she be offended about her having to pay the bill? And if she wanted him to pay the bill, isn't she like completely contradicting her initial rant on episode 1?
Yep, strong female character. I make my own money. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so it's just like, okay, well, I mean, pay the bill for me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he drinks a little high. I mean, that's all I do. I mean, the drinks are high around here. So that had that weird moment. I did actually like that scene with the paying of the bill, but then with her profile as She-Hulk, she goes on multiple dates afterwards. Now, there was one date that they stuck on for a little bit, and the guy asked her, he said, "Is your skin impenetrable?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then he said, "Will vibranium penetrate it?" She's like, "I don't know." So I thought that was very weird, and I was like, okay, maybe this is going to move us into the people who were trying to steal her blood.
You see, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking the exact same thing, that this date was a setup from the person we know nothing about who hired the Asgardian plumbers. So that is where I thought it was going to go, and they had an opportunity to do something with the main storyline here, but did they do it? No. They sure as hell didn't.
They decided not to. They were like, they decided to punt, okay? They punted in full. Now, we did skip forward a little bit. They had the whole court proceeding with Wong and Donnie Blaze, and he brought Madison back into the fold. And but she says something, and once again, everybody just kind of shrugs it off. But she's like, because when Wong's like, well, how'd you get to me? Oh, I made a pact with a demon, to get back to Earth. I was just like, is this not something that we need to be concerned about? I mean, where did she go? And what demon did she make a pact with? Okay? I mean, this Madison girl, like, and just folks, that's my problem. Everything is just shrugged off. It's just like, yeah, that just happened, so whatever. I'm just like, Wong, should you not be concerned about this? This chick made some type of pact. I mean, I'm just wondering. I mean, is that just normal stuff? Oh, yeah, we just make pacts with demons and it's good.
If we're lucky, that might be followed up on in another episode to come. But I doubt it.
If we're lucky.
Yeah. So that entire courtroom scene didn't have to exist.
Yeah, it did.
There was nothing redeeming about it.
It was just more of Madison with her tits out, drunk.
Yeah,
that was pretty much it.
And what's up with Wong? Why isn't he in prison for the jailbreak of what's his face?
Oh, they let that go.
They just let it go.
They're like, hell. I mean, he just zooped right out of here. So, I mean, what we gonna do?
He's Asian. We can't arrest him. That'd be racist.
This is true. Stop Asian hate, guys. I mean, just hashtag this thing. Stop Asian hate. All right, I want everybody to mind that. So that scene, like you said, could have not been part of it. They could have just let that go. Okay, they could have let that go completely. But we moved back to the one date that She-Hulk, because it's not Jennifer Walters on the date, it's She-Hulk on the date. The one date where she finds a guy that she really enjoys. And of course, she takes him back home, okay? And right in the middle of her making a move on him, Donnie Blaze has started his new show and has opened another portal. And somehow the dove came and laid an egg in the girl's hand and created some type of demon. I don't know what type of demon this is, but it spawned the demon out that egg. And then when he tried to send the demon away, somehow he opened a pit to hell with all the little demons. I'm like, man, I mean, you talk about things going wrong. It's just like, dude. And once again, it's not something that is going to add to the overall storyline, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Do you think it's going anywhere?
This whole entire show was a side story that didn't affect the main plot, which has yet to be developed. Right. So obviously, Abomination is out of prison, right?
Mm-hmm.
That storyline showed some sort of inner conflict because of her cousin, the Hulk, but then it was okay. And then that whole storyline just seemed to move aside, right? And all we've gotten in 4 episodes is that she turned into the Hulk and somebody sent the Asgardian plumbers to get her blood. That's it. That is all that's happened in 4 episodes, right?
She did punch Titania. She did punch her one time.
Yeah.
And then we did have a drunk hooker.
So Titania pops up in this last episode again.
Uh-huh. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Very briefly.
Yeah.
So briefly, I don't even remember the context. Do you?
Yeah, I know what the context is when you get to it, because that was the last moment. Corey, you tell, bub. It's so brief that I don't even remember why she was in there. Why are you here again? Oh, man, so that's so great. So of course, Wong shows up. Donnie Blaze actually goes, which I don't know. How does Donnie Blaze know how to get right to his crib? That's what I want to know. I mean,
the one thing we didn't mention about Donnie Blaze, which is mentioned in about 10 seconds in this episode, is that he was a former student of the Mystic Arts, but he was bad news, and so they got rid of him. But obviously, he kept his little, portal opener, brass knuckle looking thing.
Yeah, because I guess you can just keep those. Hey, keep that as a souvenir.
Yeah, they don't have any kind of mystic tracking on them or nothing like that. They couldn't possibly know you're opening portals behind their back. I mean, the fucking level of ridiculous is just it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. So he goes, grabs one. Hey, Wong, man, I fucked up, man. I somehow created a demon spawn, and then I opened the portal to where the demon spawn come from. I'm not sure how I did that, but that's what I did. And I got a feeling that if he was a student in the Mystic Arts, this was the type of shenanigans he was pulling. All right, he's just opening portals. It's a dog. You got to have a little more discretion than that, okay? You just can't be opening portals all willy nilly. So the fight ensues. Wong tries to call She-Hulk, which I'm not sure why he couldn't have just handled this himself. He looked like he's supposed to be Sorcerer Supreme, a capable man. It doesn't look like, top level threat that he would need She-Hulk. But of course, he's calling She-Hulk right in the middle of her trying to get her groove on. She-Hulk comes. We have a mediocre fight. What you think about the fight? I mean, it's just with the rabbit demon dog things that can.
Yeah, it was really quick. And where did they dump these demons? Did they even look before they leapt? I mean, who knows where these things are going to go? They just opened a portal and they sent them all in there, right? And so
yeah, it looked like the portal below looked like fire and brimstone, and the portal they sent them to looked like it was like the Alps, like it was.
Yeah,
but they said we sent them back home. Yeah, you just wake up and be like, what the hell going on here? I got these demon dogs out here. They keep growing. So that was short and sweet. All right, She-Hulk goes back. And this moment is just very weird, okay? It's really weird. She picks the guy up, which that's what every guy wants to get done. It wants to have with his woman. He wants a woman that can pick him up and carry him to the bedroom. And from the emphasis, I'm guessing that they have sexual intercourse, okay? They have
while she was green or not? Oh yeah, it must have been because the next day he don't recognize her.
Yeah, while she was big green, 6'7", burly She-Hulk. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's my question, okay? And this may be something a little far out there, but we know the metabolism thing is one part, so she can drink like a sailor and not get drunk. Would it be extremely tough for her to orgasm? So that's the real question in the She-Hulk form, or was she just happy to have a man around?
Probably, but I'm more concerned for him, and the reason for that is like that character in like the black guy in The Boys who gets his dick ripped off. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah,
the writer for the show for that company. Yeah, you stick that thing in that green toxic pussy and it can get ripped right the fuck off. It's not saturated with gamma radiation. So they got to think these things through just a little bit. Like, I am okay with the superheroes don't date thing, right? I'm okay with Captain America being a 100-year-old virgin, right? That's fine. It doesn't complicate the story with bullshit romantic entanglements. Other than what's her face? I don't remember any of these people's names because they're really irrelevant as characters in the scheme of the universe. But the chick from the original movies, Captain America.
Oh, Peggy.
Peggy, yes. Peggy. That was cool because it never really got there, but it was hinted at, and it was subtle, and it was, you felt good about it.
It's a partial romance, but they really never. It's not like a James Bond deal where James Bond always bangs the chick. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not like that.
Pussy galore.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so it's not like that. So I guess can we say he rabbit She-Hulk or She-Hulk ravaged him? I guess it'd be She-Hulk ravaged him probably. Seeing how she picked him up like a toddler and toted him to bed. I'm just like, man, this is. I don't see how this is a man's fantasy,
right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like this dude. Okay, so the next morning she wakes up, she's cooking breakfast. Hey, bud, she had a great night. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she wasn't expecting that. See, she's in regular Jennifer Walters form, and he just kind of walks out and just like, oh, hell no. I don't want to be here with your ugly ass. That's what he pretty much is like. It's like, damn, Bo. I mean, he's just like, yeah, I'm going to leave now. And so now she just feels like, a used rag. And this goes back to the men ain't shit theme of this show. All right.
But I thought it was more to show how men are superficial. And
we are.
Yeah. Yeah, no argument here.
I mean, dang. I mean, that's okay. I mean, dang. But I mean, we're attracted to people.
Life's too short to waste it on a 6.
Yeah. I mean, a 6 ain't bad, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You might not want to waste it on a 2. You know what I'm saying? If a 2, like, but she can cook though. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, well, I might stick around, but yeah. So he bounces very radically. She's really heartbroken because now she feels like a used rag. You know what I'm saying? Man, he broke load and just left. I mean, that's pretty much it. That's the theme of that. So she can't get a date unless she's She-Hulk. And as Jennifer Walters, nobody wants her. So they have made that very clear. All right, so we got that. All right. She's only attractive as She-Hulk. And then we wrap the show up with her getting served papers for the trademark name She-Hulk. Because Titania, and this is the Titania reference, because she has trademarked the name She-Hulk, so now she's suing Jennifer Walters. I'm just like, why is this a thing?
Well, I have to say, that's good on Titania for doing that. It's like when you buy out the web domain of something you know is going to be hot in a couple years, and then you sell it to them for like $1 million. Like, man, so many opportunities missed. Like Matcher.com. If we could have gotten Matcher.com, the domain, before the show came out, we could have sold it to them for like $10,000. You know?
Oh yeah, so, that's true.
So I think that it's a shady business, but that trademarking stuff, where you hop on someone's trademark before they do, that's low. But hey, it's legal and it's part of the system, and good on Titania.
We like low blows around here. Okay, that's the type of show we are. So that's kind of how it wraps up. The end credits really didn't give us anything of note. The people ranked this episode, Corey. They ranked it a 6.1 out of 10. IMDb 6.1.
No,
it's a 3 cube. It's a 3 cube.
Yeah, I think that's generous. I'm going to give it a 2.5 cube.
Yeah, that's probably. I mean, and this is out of 10, guys. This is out of 10. Now the overall rating of the show on IMDb has went down since we've started this. It did start at a 5.7. I think it's moved all the way down to a 5. So,
well, the funny thing is, that episode drops, and it ain't out 10 minutes before YouTube is just overwhelmed with videos knocking it. Like, I swear, every single show out there that talks about pop culture or movies is just dogging this thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Well, it's hard not to have a field day with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's just the modern day, the state of media these days, the state of entertainment is just in the fucking gutter, really, and not in a good way. It's so pathetic that we thought Samaritan was awesome, where a couple of years ago we would have dogged Samaritan, you know, but our expectations are so low these days that it got a great review, you know. So that's what's going on, and like I don't know. I'm speechless, really, just thinking about how much money is going into bad entertainment lately, right? And I didn't realize when we talked about Lord of the Rings on the last episode, and I didn't realize they spent $1 billion on that thing. $1 billion.
Do what?
They spent $1 billion making Lord of the Rings. The Rings of Power.
Lord!
$1 billion with a B. Yeah, I was blown away.
This first season?
Yeah.
How many episodes in this season?
There's probably gonna be 10.
Probably 10.
I would say 10.
So $100 million an episode?
Yeah. I guarantee it's all for costume and lighting and set design and
CGI. CGI is expensive.
And settings and all that stuff. We're going to end up talking about episodes 2 and 3 of Rings of Power coming up. And that, while dreary unto itself, looks like a masterpiece when compared to She-Hulk. She-Hulk is unquestionably one of the worst shows I've ever seen on TV. I don't even know what else to say about it. It's atrocious, and the only reason it got any attention at all in the first place is because of the criticism of the wokeness, right?
Right.
So, right. I don't know if they're intentionally making it the way that it is, so people will check out to see how is it really as bad as everyone's saying. You know, you never know, man. These marketing guys are slick. They come up with all kinds of weird strategies, especially if they know they got a lemon on their hands.
This is true. Now we do know there's still some cameos to come. Looks like we're going to see Abomination again. We see Titania up there repping her She-Hulk brand. It's just like, okay. We see Daredevil's going to be in an episode, maybe in a couple episodes. So will that bring anything? Probably not, because it just seemed like more random things thrown in.
Right. If the show had any substance or character, it wouldn't need all these cameos, right? So they're looking at these cameos like it's going to bring people in to watch. And I see quite the opposite. If you have a good show, you don't need all these cameos. If you have a good show, you can have a bunch of nobodies, and people will tune in to watch it. You know,
this is true. Yeah, I mean, I'm right. I'm right there with you. And once again, I mean, me and you both thought that they were going to go back to that. Hey, somebody's trying to steal her blood, and it just seems like they want to get right there, and then it's just like, well, no, let's have a drunk hooker. You know what I'm saying? It's just like,
and at the end of every show that's worth a shit, there is some kind of hook. It's never just conflict resolution, show's over. No, you need to have some kind of, breadcrumbs laid on the trail, leading you to the next episode, giving you a reason to want to tune in. And if there would have been anything, even so small as like one of the Asgardian plumbers talking on the phone to the bad guy, and you can't hear what he's saying, but they're plotting to get her, that would have been a hook that would have brought some people back for the next episode. Now,
exactly.
I only watch these episodes because you hold me at gunpoint and tell me I have to watch them.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. This is figurative, of course, guys. Look, no violence here. Figurative only. But hey, look, man, the show must go on. Look, but sometimes you have to endure pain before you can enjoy pleasure. Is it something like that? I mean, it sounds like a good enough saying.
I don't think that applies here, but I'll roll with it.
Yeah, there we go. That's all good enough. So you got our rating from us. I gave it a 3. Corey gave it 2.5. So 2.75 cubes out of 10, which means that it is in our dog shit bag right now, okay, because it's pretty bad. Okay, it's pretty bad across the board. So we appreciate everybody for watching or listening to this episode of Showtime with the Cube. We will be back. We will be covering the episode 2 and 3 of the Rings of Power next week. As we try to catch up with that particular series, then we can kind of stay on track from on that series from here on out. We're also going to be bringing out a couple of episodes where we react to some new trailers. Black Adam trailer looked intriguing to me. Corey hasn't seen it yet, but they did. It looks like they released a new one today, and popped up on my timeline, so I went ahead and checked that out. It did look very intriguing. Hopefully, they don't do what they do on a lot of these action movies, which is show you all the best parts of the movie and the trailer. That's what I'm hoping. But The Rock is in it. So, when does he make a bad movie?
I love The Rock. I particularly liked him in the Jumanji movies. One thing about The Rock is that he is the king of high-numbered sequels. That guy will jump into a fucking series like at number 3 or 4 and just roll with it like he did with Fast and the Furious, you know? But yeah, I loved him in Jumanji. I loved him in everything he's done. He can play anything.
What Jungle Cruise? I watched that.
Jungle
I was
Cruise.
Like, dude, that was a good movie. I was like,
I thought it was completely unoriginal. There was nothing spectacular about it. But it had The Rock.
Entertaining.
He's one of those people that you could take and drop onto a completely grade B movie, and all he's got to do is the eyebrow thing, like from wrestling back in the day, and the movie's awesome. So
yep, that's it. I mean, you just get him out there. He kicks a little bit of ass. He gets a girl. He raises the people's eyebrow, and you're like, "Yep, I feel good about the movie." I mean, it goes right there in that sequence. So we planning on talking about a couple of trailers upcoming. I don't know if we got anything else in the works, but we'll speak about that. Maybe we'll try to catch up on. Well, I don't know if you got HBO.
We're gonna have to
House of Dragon.
We're gonna have to. No, I steal all my stuff. I use Kodi and I use apps to steal everything that I watch because I won't pay for any of this crap. So
okay, all right, that's fair enough. All right, we'll take that. He doesn't steal anything; he pays for everything. Okay, guys.
Right, that's what I meant.
So So everything is paid for through an account with U.S. dollars. That's the way this happens. So we appreciate everybody for being here, checking us out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the channel, leave a comment. Me and Corey both appreciate that. And we will catch y'all on the next episode of Showtime with the Cube from your boy XQ420 and Corey Hughes. We'll see y'all there. Peace out.